Hey everyone, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions, and this is an album in review. This is where I take 3 or 4 minutes and shed some light on a particular album. And today we're going back to kind of a confusing period, but after the demise of Deep Purple in 1976, the Mark IV lineup, and before the creation of Whitesnake, David Coverdale set out on a solo career. And the result was a debut album that came out in 1977 called White Snake. 2 words. And there's a song on this album called White Snake. He put a second album out called North Winds. That's actually also included on this CD. The second half of that CD was included on the Whitesnake Snakebite album. Kind of confusing, but we're talking about the first album, the Whitesnake album. I actually have that here on this French sealed 8-track. So it says lead singer of Deep Purple. Well, yeah, for a time he was. And what does this sound like? Well, it's not really my cup of tea. It's very much R&B influenced. There's horns, there's background singers. It's very, like I said, R&B rock influenced. It's extremely dated. And if some of you are thinking, well, that kind of sounds like early Whitesnake. Well, yes and no. It's definitely not as hard-edged as Whitesnake, even the early stuff. You could definitely tell that he's heading in that direction with some of the songs, the song Whitesnake, for one. But for the most part, some of this stuff wouldn't sound out of place on something like Bad Company's Burnin' Sky or Rough Diamonds. So, I guess it's rock. It's just not my personal kind of rock. Coverdale sounds great. His lyrics, you can hear lyrics that he would reuse later on. He has a tendency to do that. And guitarist Mickey Moody is already playing with him. So you've got the basic building blocks of what would become the early Whitesnake. A lot of different musicians on this album, though, and it's very bare bones produced. Now, there is one song on this album that if you've got all the Whitesnake albums and you know them quite well, you'll recognize the song Blind Man because it was re-recorded for Ready and Willing. Version here is similar but different. Yeah, like I said, it's very R&B influenced, and it's not something I reach for a lot, but if you're a Whitesnake connoisseur, it is kind of part of the Whitesnake collection, right? Because what is Whitesnake if not David Coverdale and a revolving cast of musicians? So if this sounds like it's going to be of interest to you, you'll love it. Because like I said, Coverdale sounds great. Check it out, David Coverdale's debut solo album, White Snake. Thanks for watching an album in review.